I'm gonna be sharing my 4-step bank growth method that's gonna help you grow and scale your coaching, consulting, or education business from 0 to 10 to 20K months. It's the same system that helped me make over $2 million as a consultant, and it's also helped my clients hit record $10, $20, and even $80,000 months after implementing it. Now, the systems I created were built from a place of me pouring my blood, sweat, and tears into growing my own business, spending over $100,000 in courses and coaching, and running a bunch of failed experiments to figure out what doesn't work, and more importantly, what does to grow your business moving into 2025. So with that being said, you're gonna wanna pay close attention in this video because the systems I'm sharing with you today have the ability to change your life. Now, if you wanna be successful as a coach in 2025 and beyond, you cannot look like every other coach on the internet. You need to be iconic, and every iconic leader has one specific thing in common. That is a magnetic brand. So that brings us to the very first step in the bank growth system, which is building a magnetic brand. So what exactly is a magnetic brand? At its core, it's a brand that does more than just stand out. It resonates so deeply with your ideal clients that they feel an irresistible and magnetic pull in your direction. They're not just drawn to you, they feel compelled to work with you because they see you as the answer to helping them achieve their own dreams. So to further illustrate this point, I want to share a quote from Blair Warren, who's an absolute master when it comes to persuasion. People will do anything for those who encourage their dreams, justify their failures, ease their fears, confirm their suspicions, and help them throw rocks at their enemies. Think about it for a minute. A magnetic brand truly embodies all of these qualities. It doesn't just attract clients, it builds connections so strong that people feel seen, heard, understood, and compelled to take action. So by leveraging these simple principles within your brand, it allows you to not just be another coach, but to help build a movement around your vision and your mission. So then the question becomes, how do you realistically implement this within your brand? Well, you want to think about your brand as more than just a business, right? It is the gateway that your clients have to experience your unique world or your unique universe, a universe that you've created specifically for them. And if you're able to build a world that your audience wants to live in or craves to be a part of, then you will quickly build diehard fans and a cult-like following around your brand. But in order to build that world, we need to build genuine emotional connections with our viewers to make them feel seen, heard, and understood. And the quickest way to build those connections is through authenticity and storytelling. Now, I want to start by saying that authenticity has at this point just become like a buzzword, and I feel like people are using it in the wrong way. So I want to make it very clear. I don't mean using fake vulnerability and just using manipulative stories to make it appear that you are being authentic with your audience. What I do mean by this is actually showing up as your authentic self on camera. Good, bad, flaws, failures, and all. Show your audience who you actually are. Now, I want to give you one example of a super authentic brand that I personally resonate with and you may have never heard of before. His name is Heinz, and his channel is called Hindsight. When I first came across his channel, I was immediately sucked in because his vibe is just like, it's so different than anything else you see on YouTube. He's got this like super calming voice.
You are your best creative project.
The aesthetic background.
It's a beautiful thing when we learn from our mistakes.
He produces music. And his communication style is very different. And honestly, the reason why this pulled me in so much was because I'm super passionate about music. I'm deeply connected to my own spirituality, but even deeper than that, I really enjoy and resonate with the way that he thinks and the way that he communicates. When he talks, it feels like he's speaking directly to you through the camera. He's a person that has created his own little world on YouTube, and when you watch his videos, you get to be a part of that world, even if it's just for a moment. When you can create an experience that invites people into your world, and that world is an enjoyable place to be in, and they feel like they've found their home, that's when you know you have a magnetic brand. So now that we've covered the theory, let's talk about how you can actually execute this step by step. At a high level, this is the formula for creating a magnetic brand, and it consists of 4 simple steps. First, you want to get really clear on who you are as an individual. As one of my mentors likes to say, you want to exploit your unique uniqueness in the service of others. So you want to identify the key things that really make you you. For example, I'm an avid traveler, not because I like to take nice pictures for Instagram, but because there's something deeper inside of me that wants to squeeze out every single ounce of exploration and adventure that this life has to offer while I'm here on this earth. I truly live my life to the fullest, and I want to create the most meaningful existence that I can. So travel isn't just a hobby for me, it's a part of me, it's a way of life. And I also love having deep conversations with strangers that I've never met before that help me expand my mind and see the world from a different perspective. But I also love the simple things too, like a cappuccino with the perfect ratio of bitter coffee taste and sweetness mixed all together. These are all of the things that encompass who I am as a human being, and it's my job as a creator to share that world with you and make you feel like you're a part of it too. So your action steps are come up with 2 to 3 different interests, hobbies, or things that you are passionate about that you can share with your audience to help bring them into your world. Step 2, come up with 2 to 3 core values that you deeply believe in. Write a list of things that you stand for and what you stand against, both in life and in your business. For example, I subscribe to the play for work lifestyle, which means if I don't enjoy the work that I'm doing and I'm not passionate about it, then I refuse to do it. And secondly, if the work that I'm doing doesn't align with the lifestyle that I choose to live right now, then it's not for me. If it limits my freedom in any capacity, it's not for me. So what does that look like for you? Step 3, define what mission your business is setting out to achieve. Your business needs a mission that connects you directly to your audience. For example, my mission is to help 1,000 coaches build 6-figure businesses. But even deeper than that, it's to make growing a coaching business simple and give my audience the clarity, the skills, and the strategies to help them achieve those goals. Because to be honest, the coaching industry just kind of certifies coaches and then leaves them out there to dry and figure it out for themselves. And then most of them end up quitting because they never become successful and they can't pay their bills, right? So my strategy was simple: help my audience grow and scale their businesses and provide real value to the marketplace that's going to help them achieve their goals. So as a business and a brand, you want to define a clear mission that aligns with your audience's goals and helps them get to where they want to go. Now, step 4 is defining your origin story. Where did you start? What struggles did you encounter along your journey? And how did you get to where you are today? The best stories don't just share the positive wins and the accolades, right? They share the mistakes and the failures and the raw things that really shaped your journey and built you into the person that you are today. So don't try to be perfect in that story. Share your wins and your losses. People don't want perfection from you. They just want realness and relatability. Now, completing these 4 steps is what's ultimately going to help you create clear and powerful messaging that deeply resonates with your target audience and helps them connect you with their dreams and desires. Now, of course, you still want to think about your logos, your colors, your fonts, and all that good stuff, but you can easily just go on Fiverr and find someone to create those things for you once you've figured out the baseline and the foundation of your business and your brand. Now that you've taken the time to really build out a killer magnetic brand for yourself, that's cool, but if no one even knows that you exist, then everything that you did was for nothing because no one's ever going to see it. I've seen countless talented coaches fail and give up, not because they're not good at what they do, but simply because their audience can't find them. No matter who you are, you have an audience of people that are waiting to hear what you have to say. It's just a matter of helping them find you. But that's not going to happen to you because you're going to subscribe to this channel where I create all of the content you need to make sure that never happens. Now, the reason why your audience has not been able to find you is because you don't have the right systems in place to bring attention to your business and make people become more aware of what you have to offer. This is why building an attention system for your brand is not optional. It's mandatory, at least if you want to make money. In today's overly crowded and saturated markets, having an attention system placed inside of your business is the difference between you having an empty calendar and no clients or you being a 6-figure coach, which leads me to the second system within the bank framework, the attention system. Now, the attention system consists of 2 main components: organic traffic and paid ads. Now, when I say paid ads, don't freak out, don't worry. For those of you that don't have an ad budget right now, you can still make the attention system work for you. It's just gonna take about double the time for the organic traffic strategy to kick in for you. And once it does, we'll be able to use use that budget to filter into your paid ads to help you grow a lot faster. Now, at a high level, we create organic content using high-performing content styles and topics that we know are highly favorable for your target audience, and we use that to create more awareness around your brand and your business. You'll want to strategically use broadened topics in your content that relate to a larger amount of people than the niche down topics that you would normally create in your content. For example, I help online coaches build, grow, and scale their businesses, but in order to do that, I talk about sales, marketing, content creation, and a lot of other topics that I know are going to help them achieve their goals. But my target audience isn't the only group of people that this knowledge applies to. It could literally help any business that needs help growing and scaling, or that needs help with sales or marketing or any of the topics that I talk about. So by carefully selecting the topics that you talk about, the titles you write, the hooks you write for your videos, and broadening that out to be more relatable to a larger audience, you will exponentially expand the amount of views you get on your videos, as long as your content is good, of course. Now, you might be thinking, why does any of this matter? I thought I was supposed to be creating content that only addresses the needs of my target audience. And while yes, that's true, it's also not true, because if you want to grow your audience, you really want to be doing both. On one hand, you create more broadened hooks and titles and topics that are relatable to a larger, wider audience. And on the other hand, you create content revolved around solving niche specific problems for the audience that you're building. For example, if I create a video titled How to Sell Your Coaching, this automatically eliminates all the people who may have been interested in watching my content and gotten value from it simply because I put the word coach inside of the title. Now it no longer applies to them. So let's say when I titled the video that way, originally there were 5 million people that could have been helped by the content that I was sharing in my video. But when I added the word coaching in the title, now let's say it only applies to 200,000 people. And of those 200,000 people, only 10% watched the video. Now this gets me 20,000 views. And of those 20,000 views, let's say 5% of them turn into subscribers. And of those 5%, let's say 1% come onto my email list, and then 1% of those people end up being a client of mine. Now let's broaden out the title and see what the results are with that. So let's say I create a video and the title is How to Sell Anything to Anyone. I've now made this applicable to anyone that sells anything, right? Now let's say that the addressable market here is 5 million people. And of those 5 million people, let's say 10% actually watch the video. Now I've gotten 50,000 views instead of 20,000 views, and that's a huge difference. Now, when you chunk down the numbers and let's say again, another 1% got on my email list, and then 1% of those people on the email list became clients of mine, the numbers are drastically different. Now I have 2,500 potential clients versus 200 potential clients. Now, if I screwed up any of the numbers, sorry, I didn't really do the math, but you get the point. So these very small shifts in the way that you create your content and the way that you write your titles, the way that you write your hooks makes a huge difference in the overall growth of your business. And the second thing I want to note here is that while you don't want to niche down in the titles or the hooks, you do want to niche down further inside of your video by calling out your ideal clients, by talking about what you do or something like that that would indicate to your ideal clients that they found the right person for them and they're more likely to subscribe to your channel or follow you or take an action based upon the fact that your program is specifically made for them. So once you've gotten that traffic, it's always important to not forget to use a call to action that specifically invites them into your world by either asking them to follow you or subscribe to your channel, but specifically for the purpose of achieving a goal that you know they have. So for instance, I would say something like follow if you want to hit your next 10 to 20K month, something to that effect. So it's geared towards a specific goal or desire that your ideal clients have, and that's why they're watching the video. So at a high level, this is the foundation of what I call the attention system. And once you've really gotten this dialed in, that's when we start using paid ads. So like I said, even if you don't already have the ad budget right now, use this strategy to pull in the clients that you want to be working with. And while it's going to work a little bit slower, it's still going to get you some clients. So once that happens, then you can funnel that money into your paid ads. And now we can talk about what that ad strategy looks like. So the primary difference between paid ads and using organic is that you are purely relying on the algorithm to find an audience for you, which for most people just doesn't happen very well. So when you're using paid ads, you can strategically design the audience that you want to call in and the people that you want to view your content, and make sure that you're hitting the right people, the people that are going to be interested in buying what you're selling. So it's really important that we implement this, because this is really what brings the consistency into your business. It's the difference between you not knowing when your next client is going to come in to knowing, okay, every month with this ad spend, with this specific strategy, I'm making 10 to 20K months every single month. And I know that with this specific ad spend, I know how much my cost per lead is. I know how much it costs for me to acquire a new client. And this works time and time again. This is the difference between systemizing your business and just relying on the algorithm to do its thing. Now, before we hop into system number 3, if you are getting any value from this video whatsoever, you might be interested in joining the coaching community that I created called the Outcast Collective. I built it for all the outcasts and misfits of the world who are bold enough to step outside of the limitations of societal norms and want to be celebrated for their uniqueness. You'll get access to free courses. You can ask any questions about whatever you're struggling with in your coaching business right now. And I'm also adding more and more trainings every day based upon the feedback that I get from the community and whatever they're struggling with. So if this sounds like something you'd be interested in, just use the link in the description to join my newsletter, and then you will get immediate access to the community. All right, now let's talk about system number 3, the nurture system. Getting your audience's attention is simple, but what you do after that determines whether or not they're going to stick around or disappear forever. Creating an audience nurturing process is what bridges the gap between finding random strangers on the internet and getting them to pay you thousands of dollars as your clients. Without having a system that shows them that you're the right guide, builds trust for not only you as an individual, but for your unique process or way of doing things, and most importantly, makes them feel confident that they're going to achieve the results they want through working with you, it's going to be very hard for you to sell your coaching. And that entire process is what your nurture system does. It literally takes your prospect from becoming a follower to watching your content and being nurtured by it to then considering becoming one of your clients. So if you're growing an audience without having a nurturing system in place, then it's basically like taking a bucket with holes in it and pouring water in it. It's just gonna fall out, right? You might initially attract some people as followers or subscribers, but if you're not actively nurturing them by providing value, building connection, and showing them that you are the right guide to solve their problems, they're going to go to someone else who is and become their client. This is why every successful brand focuses not just on building their audience, but nurturing the current followers and subscribers that they have right now. So with all of that being said, how do we show your audience that you are the right guide to solve their problems? Well, an effective guide masters these 3 specific components inside of their content. Number 1, provide value. A good guide is going to help their target audience move closer to their goals by creating content that helps them bridge the gap from where they are right now to where they want to be. The goal of your content should be to help your target audience move further along in their journey and actually achieve results without even having to work with you. This sets the expectation that if your free content is this good, I can only imagine how good your paid stuff would be and how good it would be to work with you. So I understand that value is a very vague word, so I want to ground that into reality for you in a way that makes sense. Here's how you know if your content is actually valuable or not. And you can use this as a checklist to kind of grade the content that you've already created. Number 1, would someone pay $5 for the information that you just gave them? Number 2, can your viewer watch your video and immediately take an action that moves them one step closer to their goal? And number 3, is the information you're giving them either easier or more effective than what they're already doing? So use this as a checklist to grade your content even before you create it, to stop you from creating content that isn't actually valuable to your target audience. Now moving on to number 2, every successful guide has a plan. People don't just buy into you as a coach. They need to buy into your specific way of doing things, your unique processes, or the systems you have in place to help them achieve the goal too. So you want to show your target audience that you, 1, have a plan in place, 2, that the plan you have in place is something that feels easy for them to implement, and 3, the way that it's displayed or shown to them gives them a high level of confidence that by using it, they're going to get the results that they want. And number 3, the last thing that you want to do as the guide is prove your credibility. In order to be the trusted guide, you need to prove that you're a credible source of information. This means you either have past experience of doing the thing that you're helping people with, or that you have past testimonials, case studies, or other clients that can vouch for your skills. And if you don't have those things right now, then that should be your first step to build credibility, either by working with people for free until you get the experience you need and build some case studies and client results around the thing that you're promising other people to prove that credibility. So just to recap, an effective nurturing system provides value to your existing audience, shows them you're the guide and that you have a plan, and proves your credibility as a coach. And if you want to convert more followers or subscribers into clients, this is one of the most critical things you need to have in your arsenal as a coach. Now that you've taken your prospects on the journey of finding you on the internet, following you or subscribing to your channel, being nurtured by your middle of funnel content because you've been providing value, showing them that you're the guide, and showing them that you can be trusted and that you're a person of authority, now we need to flip the switch and push them into the direction of your offer. Now to do that, we implement the last and fourth system of the bank method called the conversion system. Now in order to get them from the consideration stage into actually becoming a client, we need to provide them with an offer. And this is where we enter the conversion system. Because let's be honest, if you're not able to convert your existing audience into clients, then you don't have a coaching business, you have an entertainment business. And we want to change that. So let's talk about your offer for a second. Your offer should be the thing that your prospects have been searching for and didn't know they needed until they found you. The best coaches don't just create educational content. They inspire, they shift and remove limiting beliefs, and they inspire their audience to take action and lead them to their transformation. So when we talk about your conversion system, we're not just talking about selling here. We're talking about creating offers that are so irresistible that they inspire your audience to take action. Your system needs to make it extremely clear and simple for your audience to know exactly what actions they need to take in order to work with you. So you want to create a clear path to get them to that point, while simultaneously removing any barriers that might stop them from getting there. If you've ever heard the phrase, a confused buyer isn't a buyer at all, that's essentially what this means. If a buyer is confused about how they can work with you, if they can't find a link or a way to contact you, they're just gonna move on. You have to make it easy for them by guiding them directly to the actions you want them to take. So when it comes to high ticket coaching, I always recommend for my clients to actually hop on a call with a prospect, talk about where they're currently at right now, what they're struggling with, what's stopping them from achieving their goals, and most importantly, where do they want to be after working with you. This allows you to handle any objections, any fears, or any problems that might stop them from actually working with you head on a phone call, where you can talk those things through with your prospect and really help them make the best decision for themselves. It's extremely important for you to assess the entire situation and what a prospect is trying to achieve before you even start to offer or pitch them on your services. Because at the end of the day, you're not here to work with maybe might be good for you clients, you're here to work with perfect fit clients. Because if you accept anything else and you're not able to help them achieve the goal that you promised, now you've created bad energy and bad juju in the internet world, right? Like, you've ruined your reputation. You've not been able to serve your client in the best way possible, which means now you don't have a case study to create. Now you don't have a testimonial, and you don't have someone that's going to go out into the world and speak good things about you. So don't accept clients that aren't the right fit. Stay and wait for the clients that are a perfect fit for what you do. And I promise you, by not accepting the bad clients, your life will be so much better because of that. I say all that to say, good results equals perfect case study equals business growth. Bad results equals no case study and no growth for your business. Now, I really want to touch on the sales process just a little bit before we end this out. Now, what I find is that when you have a proper nurture system like we talked about, most clients will come to you being already sold on you, already sold on your process, and they are ready to go all in on their business, but there's just one thing that's stopping them or holding them back from working with you, and that thing is fear. So that means we need to get really good at helping our prospects justify their failures, easing their fears, and helping overcome any self-doubt that they might have that creates a barrier for them to saying yes to you. I can promise you that fear and self-doubt are the largest contributors to failed sales calls by far. But one of the quickest and easiest ways to combat these objections in your sales call protocols is to create what I call a sell before the sale video. And in this video, you'll do 4 very important things. The first thing you're gonna add in this video is a high-level breakdown of the key components to your program and exactly what they're gonna get through working with you. Don't give them too much. Try to break it down to just 3 to 5 elements and keep it really simple, but focus on the goals that they're going to achieve rather than the parts and the pieces of your program. Secondly, you want to give proof that you've already done this and you've helped other people by throwing in at least 2 to 3 case studies or showing them the proven results that you've already done this for yourself. The third is your personal story. This is going to tell them exactly where you started, what struggles you overcame in the middle, and where you are now. This shouldn't be super long, but just enough for them to gain context around who you are just in case they don't have it already. And the fourth, you'll want to help them remove any limiting beliefs, self-doubt, or any fears that they typically might have when it comes to starting your program. For example, if you're someone that has a YouTube academy where you're helping people film themselves and grow their YouTube channels, then some people may have a fear of being on camera. So it's important to address that in the video directly before you even get them on a phone call, and you have to deal with it there. All right, now you should be able to take all of the information I've given you on this video and get amazing results in your coaching business. But if you're someone that prefers a more hands-on approach by working with someone one-to-one, side-by-side with you, implementing these systems in your business, then go ahead and book in a call with me using the link in the description. We'll talk about where you're currently at in your business, what you're struggling with the most, and how I can help you achieve the growth you're looking for in your business. Now remember, don't just be another coach, become an icon.